And this is kind of like a part 2 to the Royal Rumble. I'm just going to do a review of all the matches. I'm not going to break down too much, but I'm going to go ahead and, discuss on what I thought the way the Royal Rumble should have been booked versus what they did. Now, a lot of people have been asking me based on my last video, because I was at the Royal Rumble in San Antonio. It's a 3-hour drive from where I live because I live in Houston. And a lot of people were saying, well, how would you have booked the Royal Rumble differently, the actual match? Now, I'm not going to go through all the entries, assuming that they keep all the entries the same. I'm not going to debate on who should have came out at what number. But you had Big Cass come out at number 1, Chris Jericho at number 2, Kalisto at 3, Mojo Rawley at 4, Jack Gallagher at 5, or Gallagher, Mark Henry at 6. Braun Strowman comes out. So obviously, typically if you see Royal Rumbles in the past, like Bray Wyatt's done this, they'll give him a number like that's 7 or 8 or around there, and then they'll have him kind of clear the ring, and then the ring will fill up and they'll kind of clear it again. What I would have done was Braun Strowman comes out, he eliminates Ellsworth, Kalisto, Dillinger, Big Cass, and Rawley. I don't have a problem with that, okay? Now, when you mention Mark Henry and Big Show, they're actually pretty big guys. I would actually have Strowman dominate them. I would have it go a little bit back and forth, like a strength contest or whatever, like they did back in the 90s, where you put 2 hands on each other and you kind of see who out-muscles each other or whatever. To me, I would book my bigger guys to actually like be harder to eliminate. So a guy like Mark Henry and Big Show, for their size, Braun Strowman could dominate them in the ring, but in order for him to eliminate them, it would take a hell of a lot more than just a rush or a quick elimination like you did with the smaller guys. Because I think, like, when you're in the Royal Rumble and you're mentioning throwing the guys over the top rope, you got to make sure that your bigger guys are harder to eliminate. And I think that's where the WWE kind of failed to capitalize on, was they made Mark Henry and Big Show kind of look a little weak in the Rumble, considering their size and how they were just thrown over easily. Sami Zayn comes out at 8, Big Show at 9, Ty Dillinger at 10, James Ellsworth at 11. I don't know why James Ellsworth was even in the Rumble. That guy's a joke. I don't see how people like him. And I don't understand like why he was in the Rumble. Dean Ambrose at 12, Baron Corbin at 13. I understand that you wanted to make Baron Corbin look like he has some sort of relevance to his character, but I think when he eliminated Braun Strowman, it didn't necessarily benefit him. And it much less did not benefit the Braun Strowman push, because they've been pushing Braun Strowman for a long time as this big guy that cannot be stopped. Then you got Kofi Kingston at 14. I would have had him do something acrobatic. I would have had it to where he was holding on to the apron, and he's on the apron, draped around the ring, and he's holding on to it, sort of like Rey Mysterio did at World War III in 1997. When the NWO was eliminating everybody, I would have had him do something similar to that, to where he's still in the match and people are like, oh my God, look, he's not eliminated. Something like that. The Miz comes out at 15, Sheamus 16, Big E Langston 17, Rusev 18, Cesaro 19, Xavier Woods 20, Bray Wyatt 21, Apollo Crews 22, Randy Orton 23, Dolph Ziggler 24, Luke Harper 25, Brock Lesnar 26, Enzo Amore 27, Goldberg 28, Undertaker 29, and Roman Reigns 30. Now, the reason why I mention all these names is because this is the way I would have booked the Rumble. If you look at all the names on there, the names that stand out, as big guys, you would have like the Big Show, you would have Big E Langston, you would have Brock Lesnar, Bill Goldberg, The Undertaker, you would have Randy Orton, Bray Wyatt, Rusev, and I guess maybe a Baron Corbin and a Braun Strowman and Mark Henry. So you want to have like your big guys at the end of the Rumble. I would actually do a series where there was like 20, where it was almost like 15 to 16 minutes where there was no elimination. I would have Strowman and Undertaker have a stare-off, where they're actually staring in the middle of the ring. All the other wrestlers are just kind of draped around. These guys are staring at each other. And all of a sudden, they start striking, fist blows, fist striking, stuff like that. And all of a sudden, like, Lesnar comes in and hits one of them. And I would have it to where you have these interactions. I would make the Royal Rumble more unique in face-offs. And then I would have where Goldberg and Brock Lesnar do a face-off. Like, sooner or later in the ring, they're doing a face-off. They're exchanging blows, okay? Brock Lesnar runs under the ring. Goldberg runs underneath the ropes to pursue him. Now they're fighting outside. Extra refs are now being assisted into having to break them up and remind them that you need to go back into the ring. Goldberg and Brock Lesnar are not listening. They're trading blows. They're throwing each other into the apron, into the guardrail post, stuff like that. Meanwhile, you have Strowman and Taker going at it in the ring, okay? All right? Big Show and Mark Henry have a little face-off. Then you see Big Show, Mark Henry kind of teaming up against Braun Strowman because they realize he's a big guy. You know, Randy Orton's still in the ring. Bray Wyatt is still kind of in the ring. They're kind of teaming up as well. So you see a lot of teams going on. Now, I'm not going to narrow it down to who I think should have eliminated who at that point. But Roman Reigns should not have been number 30. In fact, number 30 should have went to a surprise entry. You're in San Antonio. I don't know if he could do the Sweet Chin Music, but Shawn Michaels had been number 30 in the Rumble, even if he couldn't do the Sweet Chin Music, just as a cameo, just as like a prop. You know, give the fans a standing ovation. You got Shawn Michaels. He actually came out during the beginning of the show, on the pre-show. The fans went berserk. That should have told you something right there. Put Shawn Michaels at number 30. And have Shawn Michaels then come in and do away in some damage. Book him a little strong. Don't give him a fast elimination. At least let him last about 8 to 9 minutes. I mean, you want to give Shawn Michaels some sort of like strength. You know, the fact that he's in San Antonio, blah, blah, blah. So Randy Orton, in my opinion, was not the right winner for this match because we've already seen Orton and Cena. I understand they've never debuted at Mania before in a one-on-one match. And to me, I'm not intrigued by the Randy Orton-John Cena match. I'm just not. My final four would have been this. Bill Goldberg, Brock Lesnar, The Undertaker, and I get to pick one more, and Braun Strowman. So Braun Strowman's at the corner. He's looking at all three of these characters. Then you got The Undertaker. He's doing a stare down. He's staring at all three while he's backed up against the corner. Bill Goldberg's doing his WCW stance where he has his hands on his knees and he's looking around. He sees Undertaker, he sees Braun Strowman, and he sees Brock Lesnar. And then Brock Lesnar standing at the corner. And he's looking at all four guys. So these four realize, oh my God, this is down to the final four. This is the final four that you should have had in the match. So these four guys are now going at it. Brock Lesnar is actually, Strowman are heel, Goldberg's face, and Undertaker's face. So obviously Goldberg's going at it with Strowman. And I think Undertaker and Brock Lesnar are going at it. Then they trade off. You know, Undertaker then starts going at it with Braun Strowman. Bill Goldberg gets into it with Brock Lesnar again. So we have this feud going on. There's this feud and there's a build to it. There's an actual build to the match. There's actually prestige. The fans are on their feet. They're so curious as to who's going to win because all four of these guys are highly qualified to win the Royal Rumble. So these guys are going at it. Now, the way that this should have been done was that Goldberg actually gets eliminated, okay? No. Goldberg eliminates Brock Lesnar, or he spears Brock Lesnar, okay? Brock Lesnar F5s Goldberg, right? All right. Then later on, Goldberg then spears him, right? Then Brock Lesnar gets up. Braun Strowman delivers a clothesline and eliminates the Brock Lesnar character, okay? With the help of Goldberg. They both go over there and lift him over. Brock Lesnar is pissed. He's hitting the side apron. He's kicking around. Paul Heyman's trying to control this animal. Brock Lesnar pulls Goldberg out of the ring and beats the living shit out of him, right? He rolls Goldberg back into the ring, goes into the ring. The refs are telling him, you have to leave. He F5s Goldberg again, okay? Goldberg's getting up. He's slow to get up. And all of a sudden, Brock Lesnar gets attacked by fucking Undertaker. And Undertaker just clean waves, throws him out of the ring, okay? Braun Strowman then delivers a clothesline to Taker, okay? And then he sees his opportunity to eliminate Bill Goldberg. He then eliminates Bill Goldberg. So Goldberg is now eliminated by Braun Strowman. So Goldberg is screwed, but he still looks strong. He looks like he got screwed by the outside interference of what Brock Lesnar was doing. So Brock Lesnar even though he got eliminated by Goldberg, he still looked strong by making Goldberg look a little weak in the ring. So both of these wrestlers are still kind of benefiting from this. Or you could have had Brock Lesnar eliminate Goldberg, and then Lesnar get distracted, turns around to see an Undertaker clothesline him right out of the ring. That gives Undertaker's WrestleMania moment that he should have had at WrestleMania 30. So then he eliminates Brock Lesnar. So see, you can go with either one of those two options. So now you're down to the final three. You're down to the final two. You're down to Undertaker versus Strowman. These guys have a face-off. They're just staring at each other. They're staring at each other. They realize what's in stake. They realize that there's a champion. You know, the winner of this Royal Rumble is the #1 contender to face John Cena at WrestleMania. So now all of a sudden, the Undertaker and him are exchanging blows. This is going on for a series of 4, 5, 6, 7 minutes. Okay, these guys are putting their finishers on each other. They're trying to eliminate each other. They're fighting over the rope, making sure this doesn't happen. They're they're trying to eliminate each other, but it's just not working out. All of a sudden, Braun Strowman delivers his finisher, and he's all of a sudden cheering in the ring. He's taunting the fans a little. Undertaker then rises up. He gets up very quickly. Okay, he then choke slams Braun Strowman. Braun Strowman gets up. He's a little weary, and then he runs from the apron, runs and clotheslines him. He flips over with Braun Strowman, but only Taker manages to hold on to the ropes, and Strowman is eliminated. Both feet touch the ground, and the Undertaker is your 2017 Royal Rumble. Now, let me tell you something. If you can possibly imagine this in your mind, because WWE fans, even in the YWC, can kind of, have this a big imagination. We all pretend like we work for the company, kind of. So imagine how I would have envisioned the Rumble, and you tell me what was better, this one or the one that Vince McMahon presented. Because I can guarantee you my Royal Rumble that I just thought of in my head just now would have been a lot better than what Vince McMahon or those story writers put together. The WWE story writers, guys, you guys failed to capitalize on the Rumble. I mean, yes, Orton won, but with no surprise entries, no oh my god moments in the ring. There was nothing about this Royal Rumble to remember. Like, years from now, I won't remember anything that happened in this Rumble. You go to 2000, where The Rock eliminated, where the Final Four was Mick Foley, The Rock, Big Show, right, and Triple H. And The Rock eliminates a Big Show in that controversial call because both feet didn't hit the ground. Big Show then gets his rematch against The Rock at the following pay-per-view. You remember, that was 17 years ago, and I still remember it to this day. In 2006, Rey Mysterio wins the Royal Rumble, overcame the odds, the death of his personal friend Eddie Guerrero, the fact that he lasted over an hour in the ring and still holds the record to this day for lasting the longest in the ring of all time. You can still remember, I can remember when Randy Orton and Triple H double teamed him. And everyone thought that it was over. There was no way that a smaller guy like this was going to win. And Rey Mysterio was probably, I think he was the first Hispanic to ever win the Battle Royal. The Royal Rumble, actually. And then 2007, Undertaker wins the Royal Rumble. And then you remember when Albert Del Rio wins the first ever 40-man Battle Royal in 2011? So to me, there's Royal Rumbles you can remember. And then Ric Flair, 1992, when Ric Flair wins the Royal Rumble. Okay? Yokozuna winning the Royal Rumble, what was that, 1993, where he lifts up the Macho Man Randy Savage and pushes him over the apron in a pin move because he delivered that elbow drop and then pushed him over the ropes. See, Big John Studd winning the first ever Royal Rumble. See, you can remember certain specific Royal Rumbles because things that happened in the ring that were so spectacular. Remember the year that Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart and Lex Luger both won the Royal Rumble? They both got eliminated at the same time. They both ended up winning the Rumble together. Moments like this, you'll never forget. Vince McMahon winning the Royal Rumble in 1999, where he sat outside of the ring when all the wrestlers fought inside of the ring. Him and Stone Cold had a feud going on at the end. They were actually number 1 and 2, and they actually lasted at the end. You remember certain Royal Rumbles that you'll never forget. And to me, I think that 2017 was booked so greatly leading up to that, especially on Raw where you had the stare down between Taker, Strowman, Lesnar. Why? And then, you know, you figure that this would then be transparent in the Rumble. And when I saw the Rumble there in person, that's not the same feeling that we fans got. We didn't get any oh my god moments. We didn't get anything spectacular. And that, my friend, was a very disappointing thing to you know, that I felt we were robbed of the way that it was booked so greatly for it to be executed so poorly. And it's just a shame, because I think that the way I just explained it would have been something that would have been talked about for years. But now you just got a Royal Rumble with big names in it, but no big finish. No great finish. So anyways, Randy Orton wins, and he's going on to face John Cena again. I don't see where this is going. I think these guys head-to-head had like, I think they've had 7 matches against each other. So I don't see how this is going to be any different. So I'm going to go ahead and sign out. Tell me what you guys think about my thoughts about how I thought the Rumble should have been booked. The rest of the show was great. I actually enjoyed the rest of the show. And I enjoyed the rest of the matches. But this particular Royal Rumble was the main gig. That was like the whole point of the show was to build it to this point. And then I just felt like the WWE just didn't capitalize on so many things. You had Braun Strowman get eliminated before Undertaker and them even entered the ring. So he didn't have his interaction with the guys you pushed at the end. You had Roman Reigns come out and eliminate the Undertaker. Fans are chanting bullshit. That it makes no sense. Why would Roman Reigns even be in the match if he already had a match earlier? You could have had Finn Balor come in the ring. You could have had Shawn Michaels. Anybody else. But you had Roman Reigns. Makes no sense. He's not over with the fans. He's not over with the crowd. You won't turn him heel, so he serves no purpose to be in that Rumble. It almost reminds me of the year when Daniel Bryan should have won and you guys kept dicking around about it. So I don't know what this obsession with Roman Reigns is, but you guys need to seriously, if he's not over with the fans, you need to pull the plug and say, okay, look, the fans just don't like him. You have to go with what the fans want. And it seems like the WWE is so good at trolling us and thinking that they're going to give us what they want, and then they turn around and take it away from us. It's like they just troll us. And it's like, I felt like the Royal Rumble, you guys just, you trolled us with these big names, and then you didn't execute it properly. So anyways, I pretty much said what I had to say. 18 minutes going on, and I'm going to go ahead and sign out. Tell me what you guys think about the way I booked the Rumble, and I'm out.